What is going on, everybody? Them dogs are 1-0. Welcome into the DGD Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Robert. That's my guy, Keon, over here. Keon, we have got a lot to unpack tonight.
Yes, we do.
And boy, oh boy, did college football week 1 not disappoint. My goodness.
No, it didn't.
My goodness. Listen, when I say we've got a jam-packed show, folks, we are not kidding. We've got a lot to cover around the Georgia space, and we've got some bones to pick, folks, with some other fan bases and some dumb takes that we've seen with the introduction of Barking Back later tonight in this episode. You're going to love it, I promise, because we will too. But first things first, let's get started. Let's talk that dog. Keon, what are you feeling from, what are we taking away? What's the main takeaway from Saturday's game?
Gunnar Stockton is not playing with y'all. He is not playing with y'all. He playing like he heard all that shit y'all was talking. Defensively, I got one name to mention, and it was a name that I mentioned, Elijah Griffin. You know, I'm going to be honest. There's certain people, right, like in this world, that we as a society are lucky that they're good people. Like, can you imagine if Aaron Darnold was a horrible person? Like, imagine if he was like a real asshole. Like, imagine if a guy like a Jalen Carter was like a real asshole. Fam, first play, I watched this man toss a center and go get the TFL. His first play in the game. Welcome to college football. Let's see what this is about.
See, Keon, I've got to stop you for a second because you brought up a name. It's my time to bring up a name. Juan motherfucking Gaston.
God.
Listen. It did not take long. In fact, the second play on offense for him to catch a fucking body. And my God, did he ever. He ran right through that man. Now, I will say, I would have loved to see him run through said defender and get his head back around to get to the second defender right there in front of him. However, as a true freshman, to be 360 pounds, 6'7", 360, and run like that shit's dangerous. That is dangerous.
Dude.
And I'm here for it. And I'm sure every single one of you are here for it.
Here's the thing. It was just brute force. Like, made contact, and it's like the defender goes flying, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, that's a freshman.
You imagine falling for real? Yeah.
You imagine what he's going to do to people by his junior year?
People don't want to think about that. I do. Georgia fans do. But yeah, nobody else wants to do that. I guarantee it. Let's do this. I want to talk about the main takeaway. I know we've talked about some highlights from these young guys. What did you learn? What was the first thing that you learned? The main thing that you learned from this game? I'll start mine. I want to start this one, and I'm going to let you cook on the back end here. By God, did Georgia run the goddamn ball, and it was so fun to watch. Oh, it was so fun to watch. You have everybody. I think everybody was expecting a crazy game from Nate Frazier, but I think at the end of the day, the best running back was Peanut, man, Dwight Phillips. And if I'm seeing some under center sweeps, some tosses to him and getting him running, and not only with the speed, but the ability to break some tackles, good God.
From what I saw today, it might be a real discussion, and I would love to see because I'm gonna make my way down to Athens for the Texas Georgia game.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any players that are watching this, I really want to see it live. But I want to see Raylan Wilson and Peanut race each other in real time.
I still think Peanut's still world class, but that would be fun to watch.
Yeah, I do too. And honestly, right here, right now, from what I watched in game, Peanut looks like he's the fastest player on our team.
And he got bigger too.
And he got bigger. So he's throwing people off of him and taking
Hold
off.
up, yeah. He got bigger in a good way and not in the bad way, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, no, for real. But just he took off and he got the ball and just it's almost like if you blinked, he's already past the first down marker. Mm-hmm. He's already at the second level, going into the third. Like it's world-class speed, bro. It's world-class speed. Shout out to Dwight Phillips Sr. But that's just what it is. I think Georgia made the point be known, hey, we're going to run the ball this year. And that's great for me because I got Nate Frazier on one of my fantasy teams, which gotta say I love it. Nate Frazier, great pad level. I'm still saying, look, by the end of the year, we're gonna look at Nate Frazier and say, oh yeah, you're easily top 5, if not top 3 best running back in the conference.
Yeah,
but I'm just telling you, man, he is phenomenal. I'm really excited.
I think what was fun because we ran for almost 250 yards, but I think a lot of this stems from the ability of having a mobile quarterback. My goodness, it did not take long for that to rear itself in a positive way, might I add, because the Red Sea parted. When on 4th and 2, you run a speed option, and instead of pitching it, Gunner tucks it and runs upfield on the tight, man, on the tight. That it's just, this massive lane, and I felt like we never got to see that last year. Everything was so condensed, everything was so tight. You were having to get a bunch of just rough physical 30 type yards, right? Like these real murky, right? Boxes were loaded and all this other stuff. Can't do that. And honestly, when you do the read options and stuff, and Gunner kept it, Marshall's defense was so used to flowing in and crashing that lanes were just massive.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking at this, and honestly, I'm gonna also give a shout out to the big nasties, the offensive line and the tight ends and the blocking overall. There's a lot of effort in the blocks and getting to the next level, sealing guys off. Really, really, really impressed with the effort, and really kind of showed, like, even if it's a subpar team compared to your standard in regards to how you play, right, from a talent level, you still popped up. You still ran through people's fucking face masks, let them know you're there. I think Oscar Delp did a really good job blocking as well. But is there anybody that stood out to you from a blocking perspective aside from Juan Gaston? Because I think everybody probably saw that one.
Oscar Delp.
I'm with you.
You talking about just physically, hey, I'm about to take you on a ride, whether you want to or not. You ready? Either way, here we go. And just, he was tossing him out the club. Talk about getting the fuck out the section. Well, he was not playing at all.
I want to keep the blocking because not only in the run game were we blocking well, but in the screen game. And I do recall on the last episode, I guaranteed a screen pass to Zachariah Branch to score a touchdown from outside the red zone. And my prediction was 100% on point. 47-yard touchdown reception there. I think that was a score that brought it to 21-0. And Keon, how does it feel to D'Angelo style? How does it feel to have that home run hitter?
It changes the course of the offense. It now puts a lot more stress on defenses to not only play us tight, but I mean, you can't allow any form of wiggle. And I think what we're able to do moving forward with our offense is really just create those mismatches and then put defenses in a real bad spot. Because now you're having the conversation of, well, if the quarterback can run, they break out into a screen. Let's say the play breaks down. Gunner can tuck it and get extra yards his damn self while having half of the defense, if not more than half, plagued to whatever side that they're supposed to be running the screen, right? I mean, you look at his stats, you talking about a guy who went out there, threw for 263, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. I mean, hey, hello.
Yeah, you had 2 running and then 2 on the 2 running and 2 passing.
Right.
Obviously the 47-yarder and then a pass in the red zone to London Humphreys in the back of the end zone.
Right.
Looks like I think it was a cross route or a dig route across the back of the end zone, which I thought that was a good play to wait in the pocket and let that play develop and let him, get there. I want to continue though with Gunner though, man, because we saw him make his first start against Notre Dame, and obviously that defense last year they locked up our receivers. We had talked about it leading up to this game that the receiving core changed and things of that nature. And I felt like the culture was changing again to a more physical, culture, right? And with what we were wanting to see and what we're used to with Kirby. But at the same time, that mobility was going to be a key for, especially at the quarterback position. There were some plays where pass protection broke down, and I credit Marshall for doing some good stunts there to really kind of use the offensive rules in a sense of what you're supposed to do on certain protections against them, right? This plug and play styles. Have you ever seen it? The plug and play styles, the twist where you basically had your Mike linebacker come in and sit there, right? You have to protect them, but you've got somebody coming over here. So the guard would go to it. Then the linebacker that comes in delayed kind of just shoots in when the guard takes in or the tackle takes in. And so those kinds of pressures, right? Gunner, it kind of made me feel a little bit like 2022 and 2021 with Stetson, more so because he had the ability to feel it, see it, and then get away from it and make positives out of that. Because let's be honest, last year that's a sack. And so having the quarterback with the presence enough as it stands now to move out of the pocket, run with his legs, and really hurt a defense, it's a refreshing feel to me. It really is. Because as you get more experience, you would expect it to get better. And so at that point, right, like I feel fairly confident. I know it's Marshall, but I don't really care anymore about these opponents, right? Like what I mean by that, I don't care who we play. I want to see us. I don't do our thing.
Right. I don't care about who we play either. And for those who do care, like, oh man, it's Marshall. Let's understand around this time last year, we had UMass play us and put up, what was it, over 300 on the ground?
Yeah. Well, think about it this way. Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because last year, right, I said this on the preview show, be damned who the opponent is. I want to see us run for 250 yards. I want to see us run for 300 yards. I want to see us get back to Georgia football. And like you said there, I hope people don't forget that just last season, one, we couldn't run the ball. And two, we couldn't stop the run, which kind of leads me to the transition here to the defense, because this defense, Keon, looks extremely fast, extremely physical, and it's fucking deep.
These guys look massive.
It's wild. It's wild. So for anyone that hasn't got to see it yet, I was happy to see Quintavious get the start at the edge alongside Gabe Harris on the opposite side. You had Christian Miller, and I think Elijah Griffin got the start, if I'm not mistaken. But
also, shout out
Jordan Hall was in too. Hello Mendoza was the thing. Yeah, got a sack. Raylan Wilson at the linebackers, he got a sack. We got a few sacks this game. And the quarterbacks are fairly mobile too. So I think we need to make sure that if we get sacks, we evaluate it a little bit more due to the nature of mobile quarterbacks in this world of college football. So in my opinion, I think if we get a good amount of sacks, I think that comes that's like gold, just simply because it's going to become harder and harder with mobile quarterbacks, right? You're going to have to scheme them to stay in the pocket and then not let them slide up, stay level, right? When you're level pass rush, so that they can't fall through cracks in the pass rush. But, we get a couple sacks there, force some havoc plays, right? No interceptions like I thought we wanted to see, but I think moving forward, I see situations where there's a good opportunity to get them, especially with the pass rush. But I think another thing too, man, more so for me, the ability to stop the run in this game from a schematic standpoint and just a physicality standpoint was very impressive. I think it started off setting the tone early, and then it goes, that first drive, that first 3 and out that Marshall did, right? We saw Jordan Hall get into the backfield. We saw Gabe Harris just literally bully the left tackle.
Facts.
Bully him. And that thing right there, if you get consistent play, like we said, you get consistent play like that from Gabe Harris, it's gonna get nasty for a lot of teams.
Absolutely.
A lot of teams. Other than that, though, Ken, I want to ask you this: what were you most impressed with the defense?
So, of course, we didn't have Dalen Everett. You had Ellis Robinson out there who really gave me CB1 vibes, man. But hey, look, we'll give it time. I'll pump the brakes, but he did great. But the defense, team speed, ridiculous. Everybody's flying to the ball, making honestly, just making tackle pursuit. I'm seeing it, finishing the tackles, which is also a great thing. Honestly, team tackles. I mean, you saw a guy get hit. Here come 3 other dogs. Boom, boom, boom. This guy's down, probably in pain. Those are some of the things that I saw that really stood out to me defensively.
Yeah, I think another thing too with the defense specifically was you matched or overmatched their physicality on offense, right? Instead of playing on your heels and wait for them to strike, you met them with equal or greater force. You reset the line of scrimmage. You stopped the run. That was our biggest problem last year, right? But then when you look at the team speed, when you saw, right, I think we expected this. I'm gonna go back in and work down. When you look at the size of Daniel Harris and Ellis Robinson on the corners, then you get Kyron Jones, which was a good surprise to start at the safety spot. Kyron Jones with KJ Bolden, right? That's another situation where Kyron might not be as big as KJ, but you can see KJ, Ellis, and Daniel just massive for cornerbacks. And then Kyron was quicker, a little bit, showed us speed and twitch there. And so you had that speed. I thought did really good in coverage. You don't really see a lot of misses there. You would like to see some picks, but I know KJ got his hand up and about put the ball in the air right? Almost like a tip drill situation. But you really didn't see them execute a lot of passes, right? I think as we moved into the game, right, when the game was out of hand, you started to see the rotation more, right, from a whole substitution package there. Then you start to see us kind of give up a little bit, right? Not necessarily, you start to see that drop off, but you at the same time get a lot of those guys that we need, freshmen, Rayshawn Dinkins, right? Dominic Kelly. Think about this, man, fourth quarter, and you've got Zion Branch getting his first few reps in the game. That's crazy, folks. I said we were deep. He started at USC and would start at USC. He comes here and he's playing his first meaningful reps in the fourth quarter. We are deep, folks, which also tells you should be able to handle injuries if they were to arise. You have with how deep we are. Because again, we've talked about a few of those guys' names right there. Even Terrell Foster with the reserves in Keon. Terrell Foster was balling. He was all over the place, man.
Shout outs to Terrell Foster, and I really and I say this and I mean this, man, he is such a great player. I'm happy that we have him, but dude, guys like that, you really gotta show your love and appreciation to, because make no mistake, people, that's a fucking starter somewhere else. Anywhere else in this conference, that's a starter.
A lot of these guys are starters, man. It's wild. It's wild to think about that. Because, I mean, when obviously we knew and we expected Keon, if we're staying within the linebackers, we knew Justin and we knew Chris Cole. Mm-hmm. Right, we knew they were going to get run, and they got it. But even then, remember the third linebacker in that class with them too, Chris Jones? Buddy, off the edge, he was making plays. Inferior opponent, be damned. What I'm looking for, and I think what's going to matter this year in the world of college football, is team speed, discipline, and just physicality, because I understand it's week 1 and we're about to be going into week 2. But we've seen across the world of college football through week 1, if you're not physical, but you're going for a ride to the L town, okay, on the L train, you're going downtown on the L train, okay? So the physicality, I was thoroughly impressed with. I think you needed to see that. Everybody was flying to the football. I saw fairly confident tackling. I think there were a couple situations where you could have had him. You could have had the quarterback. I think it was a third down or fourth. I forgot which one. Del Rio, their quarterback, sneaks out from a couple, I think it would be sacks or tackles, and he comes close to the first down but doesn't get it. But outside of that, I really didn't see a lot of missed tackling, as much as, right, especially from the starters. I think that was the key. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I think, you're seeing guys go out there in their pursuits and execute. That was the biggest thing that I noticed, right, was just really the execution from the guys that we had out there on the defense.
For sure. When you look at anything else across the board, is there anything else that you learned, or is there anything that you didn't learn for sure that you would want to see maybe a little bit? I think there's some things that Georgia wasn't going to show everything. There's no need to. But are there some things that you think Georgia could get better with?
DBs, I need to see turnovers, man. Yet again, KJ got real close. I think Ellis may have gotten close to one, but honestly, takeaways, turnovers, that's the biggest thing I think that's going to help our team this year, along with sacks, which we did get to. But turnovers, continue to get those sacks and make those plays on the quarterback, but definitely those turnovers.
It may be a situation where you have the opponent dictating this, but I love the play calling offensively. I think defying some of the issues, right? So daring to attempt and defy what we've seen last year, right? Keep in mind, third down, screenplay, early in the first drive, if I might add, screen pass on third down. At that point in time, I looked at that in real time, and I was like, this is not going to be good. And then I realized, wait, Zachariah Branch, let's see what happens. He makes a guy miss, and then he's down the field before you know it for 25, 30-yard gain on 3rd and 5. Last year, that's a loss, a tackle for a loss, or an incompletion. For the most part, that's what happens last year, right? That situation there. I thought another thing, too, the screen to get Gunner from Gunner to Zachariah Branch. The screen game was really just Zachariah Branch show. But also, if you're going to do that, I'm here for it.
Also, do want to put this out there as well. Gunner Stockton became the first Bulldog quarterback to lead the team in rushing in a game since 2018. So since Justin Fields.
Come on now.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see what the offense can look like with a mobile quarterback.
Man.
And listen, and honestly, I was thoroughly impressed with his ability to play on time.
Man.
Now, I think, and there's some situations when you go back and watch the game where had he been more aggressive, I think there's shots for home run shots, right? Or deep explosive plays. But in your first start for the season as a true starter, right? Like, I'm not going to hold it against him because to me, when you saw him do the check down, keep in mind, folks, the reason you didn't see a real vertical threat was what they were giving you. Marshall's defensive game plan wouldn't allow it. It's not designed to allow that.
Right.
You basically played a 3 deep. You basically bailed, right? That's like a cover 3 high bail, right? So you had 3 guys back there. So it was almost kind of similar, a little bit. Imagine what Ohio State does.
It's like putting
3 back.
Yeah, it's like putting a top on the defense, right?
Exactly. So these checkdowns, in theory, are the right plays, but based off of defensive game planning strategy. That's really what it boils down to. But it's a matter of him playing on time that should be the takeaway, in my opinion, too. Because as we move forward, you're not going to see the same defensive schemes and game plans on that. You're just not.
Right. I agree.
And obviously, listen, he also, one of the things too, I thought, again, using his mobility, seeing some grass and running it, right? Going through the progressions, right? Maybe I think it was 3rd down. Go through the progressions, see ability to run, see green grass, pull it down and run and get the first down, get some more. We saw across the world of college football, man, people hesitant to do that. And it's a lot of inexperience that happens that way. But when you have the experience and you feel confident in your offense and stuff like that, and you have the confidence in yourself, you make plays. And that's a testament to him just being a gamer, man. He's a ball player. He really is. He really is a ball player. And I think it showed. And I think, honestly, Keon, I'm going to bring back the culture for a second. I want to call back some culture here. I don't know if you saw this. When he was running, I think it was in the 2-minute drill, maybe. I might be wrong. Don't quote me for sure. But he was running, and he ran to the Georgia sideline, got tackled. It was out of bounds. One of the things that I was thoroughly happy to see with the connection from the team was the D linemen sitting there taking the coaching on the bench, right? They were sitting there. They were taking the coaching whenever it was being coached. He gets tackled. He slides into the area a little bit. The defensive guys stop, get down, get them up, cheer them on, send them back out there, and then go back to do their thing. I didn't get that same vibe last year. I don't know if anyone listening and watching kind of felt that. I just didn't get that feel. And if it wasn't visible like what we got to see. Maybe it did happen. We just didn't see it. But I feel like there's that sense of connection that we ain't had in a couple years. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I do think that the team is more connected. But while I'm getting into this, check your text, Rob. But so there is something that I will say in that regards. Uh, I think that the team is more together now than ever before. I think that the team is more joined than what we've seen in previous years. Read that. Also, I think the biggest you can't laugh while I'm like, look, I do think that not only is the team more joined now than ever, I will say these guys truly love each other, man. It is really a real friendship amongst the team. You can see guys getting excited for whether if it's a starter that goes out there and makes a play, or if it's a walk-on player that goes out there and makes a play. You're still seeing the same thing over and over again. Guys showing their support, showing their love, and honestly, it's just something to grow off of. Honestly, as the season goes on, it's just gonna get better.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to keep my decorum for a second, but yeah, that was good. We'll save that for maybe a little bit later in the show. Ryan here on YouTube. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe us, guys. It's all free. It does a ton for our show. Had a great turnout, by the way, again for our Marshall preview. I know, obviously, with the season here, people loved it. Make sure to, like I said, like and subscribe. Ring that bell so you know when we're live Monday and Wednesdays for these shows here. But Ryan asked, Kobe Young, thoughts? Honestly, I didn't think it was bad. I just think that the game plan and what Marshall was doing defensively kind of didn't allow for it to happen, right? I think Noah Thomas, we were expecting a bigger game from him, but you watch, and honestly, listen, I don't think nobody really truly understood what Marshall was going to do simply because they were a brand new team. They were fairly like a brand new constructed team. So going looking now that we know in hindsight that they pulled the three high, right? They bailed out, three high bail. We should have had as soon as we saw that, you knew the vertical game was not going to be really there without putting it into into sticky situations. Other than that, though, I think if I take anything away, listen, I was thoroughly impressed with the blocking. I think all the receivers, in my opinion, when they were asked to block, they blocked very well. London Humphreys ran through some motherfuckers' face masks. Seen it happen.
Facts.
That's a play. Like when you see your receivers willingly run violently into people and run through their face mask, that's a good feeling, folks. It's a good feeling to have because I guarantee you there's some other fan bases that wish they had that physicality, willing to be physical like that. And honestly, listen, that physicality set holes and set creases for lanes to get ran through the ball. So when running the ball, it created lanes for you to run through. So it was on full display. And think about it this way. Not only at the line of scrimmage, but yards, miles downfield. Zachariah Branch, right, when he ran that screen for 47 yards. Folks, Dylan Bell downfield, just blocking everybody. Kobe Young, I think it was Kobe maybe, or London Humphreys, blocking their guy to the pylon. Like, sustaining your blocks downfield. Keon, ring a bell. We didn't have that shit last year.
No, we didn't. We did not have that last year, and you're seeing guys yet again. I look at blocking like it's a decision that you make, right? Like that's a commit. You got to commit to that. You got to commit to block. And just like, even head coaches such as Dan Lanning has even came out and said, you want to show me that you love your teammates? Show me through you blocking.
Don't block
for your guys.
Absolutely. Where do you think he got that from?
I'm telling you, Kirby, guys.
Ryan, so Ryan's internet freaking out. We just did. Thought he did a good job blocking. Just to kind of do a quick recap. Didn't see much vertically. I didn't expect it once we saw what they were doing defensively. I'll let you make sure you go back and rewatch this little piece here, just letting you know. He thinks he's underrated. Are we talking about, which one are we talking about? Do you know who he's talking about, Keon? Ryan, let us know who you're talking about just to make sure we're understanding who you're speaking on specifically. But no, other than that, Keon, is there anything? Let's talk. Oh, we cannot do our recap show without talking about the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Ryan Puglisi.
Yeah, listen, we had heard some things about kind of being careless. I wouldn't say careless with the ball, but not putting it into situations, if you will. Right? Put it into situations, turn the ball over right through camps. Did not necessarily do that Saturday. And he was fucking slinging that pill too, boy. I love that.
Throwing them seeds, man. I'm telling you, it's future looks bright.
No, okay, so Ryan asked about Colby Young. No, I don't think he's underrated at all. I think he might be slightly overlooked considering all the stuff that we've got and what we saw Saturday.
Absolutely.
And no reason to believe he's underrated, though. No reason to believe he's underrated. But no, so back to Puglisi, right? That first drive he took, dude. I mean, I think he threw the ball like, 3-4 times, and they were seeds too, dude. And,
yeah, that ball was getting there quick.
One across the middle. I forgot who it was to. Then you sit there, you just watch him. He threw one to Black. It was the Blackshear across the middle. That's right, Thomas Blackshear. Another name. Good shout out there. Dude came in the summer, if I'm not mistaken, and already making plays. So take it for what that's worth. But then obviously, Keon, we've talked about Oscar Delp. Didn't get to talk about Elias Williams though.
Man, huge human being.
Caught a little touchdown pass in his home opener or career opener for Georgia. Actually, Keon, Ethan Barber started. Yeah.
This, I'm telling you, man, and that's why I say when you get to games like Tennessee, you're gonna have, because yet again, these guys, some of the freshmen, of course, you're gonna have freshman mistakes. But if they're playing the way that they're playing, I mean, you get to a game like Tennessee and you feel comfortable about playing those guys. You get to a game like Alabama, you can feel comfortable for those guys rotating in just because of the simple fact you've been able to play other guys, leading up to those games.
Yeah, I agree. Was there any other tight ends that you thought made an impact there? I got to see Jaden Riddell.
Yeah, Jaden Riddell also made a great impact as well. I'm excited to see, like I said, man, this is only week 1. I'm excited to see how the season continues to unfold for all the young guys for this team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just one game. There's 11 more opportunities at least, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're going to see, and we saw a lot of rotation, right? I think as we move forward, you're going to see different game plans change. So different guys are going to get featured, in my opinion. To Ryan's point, he was, what's our thinking on Colby due to the fact they came from the same city. Listen, he may not have been in the game plan as much, right, as of this one, but there's no reason for me to believe that he can't be heavily involved in the receiving game simply because of the X receiver capabilities he's got. We've seen it, but I think as we move forward, I think even maybe against Austin Peay, you might see those vertical shots. With that being said, obviously you've got to kind of go against Noah Thomas slightly, right? It's good competition, but you got to fight for the reps. Other than that, though, I still think he's going to be involved in this game. A lot of it early on could be who Gunnar feels more comfortable with, but as we move through the conference play for sure, you're going to see guys game plan to stop certain guys, especially if they had a good week before. You're going to see those game plans. So it's going to be kind of a revolving situation, right? What we're able to do, what the defense gives us. So far, again, Gunnar took what the defense gave him. Yeah. So whether that's some check downs, right? To Cash Jones or whatever, or Zach Branch across the middle on a pressure. I thought that was a good play, a really good poise there for Gunnar. But to your point, though, with Colby, just because he didn't do much this game specifically, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. So, I mean, Keon, do you have anything else to add to that question?
Not really. Honestly, I think you hit on everything that I was gonna say for real.
Took your
Man,
my bad.
just give these guys time, man. I mean, you're gonna see the team continue to gel, continue to grow. And either way how you look at it, I'm really excited for it.
Absolutely. Keon, before we transition to the next segment, let's try to start put the Marshall recap to bed. Overall, are there any final thoughts? And if not, give us a game ball prediction.
Game ball. Me personally, I'm giving the game ball to Gunnar Stockton.
Okay, I get it. I know, but I'm gonna let you explain.
I think you go out here in your first career start as the starter. You're looking at a guy who gave you 4 touchdowns total, 2 on the ground, him rushing it in, 2 in the air. You didn't have any turnovers. You look poised. You look calm in the pocket. There were points where you could kind of tell he wanted to get more. He wanted to go for more. You saw him make protections as well, so you're seeing him elevate on that front. But overall execution, I'm gonna give it to Gunnar Stockton. Who are you giving your game ball to?
I'm gonna give mine. I'm gonna stay on the offensive side. I'm going to down. I'm torn right now, Keon. I'm torn because there's 2 names that you ain't listed that I can easily give it to. Keon, I think we're both going to do this, but I'm going to give mine in the Wolf. I think we can both give a third game ball, okay? And I want to make sure you understand this. I'm going to give my solo game ball to Dwight Phillips.
Yes. 5 carries, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. Great.
And really just I think in this game, I'm not saying it's enough to genuinely pull the running back 2 reps, right? I don't think it was firmly entrenched that he would be the running back 2, but it was obvious that he was the running back 2 in this game. And that speed, right? I think the under center, right? That under center toss, Keon, God damn it feels so good to look at that again. And honestly have that home run speed, right? The last time we had that was James Cook and DeAndre Swift. That tandem, right? To see that kind of speed, that the angle-defying speed, right? It's so nice to see it. But at the same time, you look at Nate Frazier. He wasn't. I thought he did some good things. He may have made some situations where he made it harder for himself, right? But at the same time, seeing him get those dirty yards, right? Those kind of yards, right? The grind it out. You're going to need to do that, by the way, and when it comes to conference play. But getting back to Peanut, man. He may not have been the running back 2 for the season, but I'm telling you, after that performance that he's going to get featured more. So I got to give him that because of how important that running back 2 spot's going to be for us. And also it was a very good performance from the running back. I think Gunnar led like you said, Gunnar led the team in rushing. Dwight Phillips was just fine too. So I'm going there. Keon, I'm going to collectively say that I think we both can give this third game ball another offensive player, but Zachariah Branch. Zachariah Branch, simply because he is that home run hitter, and he made the impact in the receiving corps. I know we passed the ball around, right? And the game was really dictated because Kirby wanted to run the ball. However, when there were explosive plays in the receiving game, most of them came from Zachariah Branch. And again, is this going to be like this every time? No, I think we're too deep at the receiving position for it to happen like this every time. But in this instance, Keon, he showed us exactly what it was like to have that home run hitter again at the receiver position. Did it feel good or what?
Dude, I'm gonna tell you this: if Zachariah Branch stays healthy and gives us a full season, he's gonna be our first 1,000-yard wide receiver since Terrence Edwards. I don't know if I've already said that here on this platform, but if I haven't, let this be one of the clips that you cut and say that if Zachariah Branch gives us a full, healthy season, he will be our first 1,000-yard wide receiver since Terrence Edwards.
Shout out
End
to T.
quote.
Shout out to T. Ryan says, much love, y'all. Great pod. You got a sub. Thank you for the sub, buddy. Glad we
Appreciate
could get
you,
that
Ryan.
from you. Hopefully everybody else will subscribe as well. I think season's here, folks, and this content ain't stopping. So
Right.
make sure to like, follow, and subscribe, like Ryan said. Keon, we gave our game balls. I think it's time to put the Marshall game to bed, and it's time to transition. Let's do this. We're going to transition to our 3-and-out results, okay, before we break out the new segment. So I want you to understand that. So now that the games for the 3-and-out are over,
Right.
we indeed did go 3-and-out. But here are the results on the screen here. My pick for Notre Dame -2.5 did not hit. No, Miami did win that game. So my name is in red. Keon, you were the lone Green Ranger. You like what I did there?
Yep.
Keon, you went bold. I thought it was the boldest pick here, and you pulled it out, man. LSU won money line.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go
So your
Tigers.
name is in green. So you got the green this week. Good for you, Keon. The farthest off, Caleb, buddy. And honestly, and it's no shout to Caleb because I think all of us had that at the lock. But Alabama -13.5 was the utmost wrong pick on this parlay. So Caleb gets the red as well this week. So for those listening, if you want to put that, kind of keep us in mind here. Keon went bold a little bit and hit. Got to make it back up. One thing to announce, though, here. We are doing this for calls now as well. So at the end of the season, anything that we get, we're donating to our guys over at Bulldogs Battling Breast Cancer. They're doing Jordan Jenkins is doing a sack challenge throughout the season. And so we're deciding to put our money where our mouth is for a great cause, and that's to help battle breast cancer. So whenever we get through the season, we're going to take our winnings and you go there and donate it there. If for some reason, though, we are not at a good number, or at least the minimum, as you can see here, at 100. So we're at least doing 100. I think that's fair, Keon. Obviously for good calls too. So yeah, I'm there.
Absolutely.
With that being said, though, Keon, that is our 3-and-out segment, and we're also, remember, Wednesday, folks, we're back for round 2. Got to put another 10 in and win some money, Keon.
Yeah.
So we got to get that 10, that loss right there. We got to get that fixed. We get back even. We got
to avenge it.
Got to do that. Keon, prepare yourself. Okay, let's prepare everybody watching right now. First things first. I'm excited for this because this is brand new. We're about to introduce our brand new segment, Barking Back. Welcome to our segment, Barking Back. If you're new to this is where we get to have fun, Keon. We scrounged through the internet and we got to find some interesting takes, shall we say, around the world of college football, might I add, be specific. And we're bringing them to you to hold people accountable for said takes. But I cannot sit here and start start the segment any other way than doing so, holding myself accountable. All right. I'm going to play this and you'll understand why. Listen, Florida State fans, if you find this, cool, so be it. I think Bama is about to do some unholy things in Tallahassee. That was me on our preview show while we were doing our picks. Yeah. So I kind of have to hold myself accountable here. I put this out on social media earlier today, Keon. I think I have to apologize to these Florida State fans. So here comes, I hate to do this. Here comes my apology.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Yeah, you ain't getting an apology from me. Sorry, Florida State. You thought it, but no, you ain't going to get that. I'm glad you did the dirty work and beat Bama for sure. So thank you for that. But I'm just not going to do it. I stand by my take. I thought that was what was about to happen. Yeah, no. I had to give the flowers to Florida State. I'm not going to apologize. Actually, I did apologize to nobody. But let's talk about this because this is the hot topic right now around week 1. Keon, and I know for damn sure you've been deep in this. You've been deep in this. Let's talk about it, though. I'm going to let you start it off.
Actually, you kick it off.
Whew. Okay. Fair enough. Keon, I don't think I could have thought of a team that played that way that put on the script A, because that didn't look like Bama football to me. Most of my adult life, Keon, since high school, I've known one standard. Now, to be fair, I remember Bama before Nick Saban. Okay, I do understand that. But most of my adult life, dude, from high school to now, has been under Nick Saban. That did not look like Alabama football. I'm sorry. I went back and watched it. But that was bad football. I'm not going to necessarily say it's as much on the offensive situation from the quarterback position, because I don't think that's the thing. He looked like a young quarterback. Kind of expected a little bit of that. But the defensive performance, inexcusable. Inexcusable. I saw an Alabama team that looked slow. I saw a defense that looked big and not in a good way. And I saw a defense that was scared to be physical. I watched a defense, 17 plays in on defense. I saw players jogging, giving up a touchdown. I don't know what has gone on there, but that's not Alabama football. And I guarantee you, any Alabama fan sitting in here that can hear this will agree to it. That was not the standard that Nick Saban would have been, but it also shows you that things have changed, for good or for bad.
So
I'm gonna let you go.
So there's a lot of things I could say here, but I agree with what you said so far. So let's start there. On top of that, let's be honest, right? Let's be completely honest. Let's be completely open. Let's be completely transparent. Alabama has become a finesse football team. I know I just said the F word, but hear me clearly. It's the truth. What makes me believe that Alabama has become a finesse team, right? Well, when you get an offensive-minded head coach whose entire game plan is predicated on not only not running the football, but even to different points going away from the running game, you'll get that. What makes me say this? Because I've even seen it in the NFL where, like, I'm a Giants fan with Brian Daboll as a head coach. Brian Daboll is an offensive-minded guy. We are a finesse football team. And we became that after Tom Coughlin, who, yet again, came from a physical style of playing, right? But even then, when I look back at Alabama, you're looking at issues that aren't going to get fixed. Like these are issues that you fix in the offseason, bro. That's just what it is, Rob. You're looking at issues that you fix in the offseason. You're looking at things that you get corrected in the offseason. Once the season starts, you kind of are what you are. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's just what that is. It's kind of crazy to me to even think that the team has gone this route, because if you remember when Alabama hired Kalen DeBoer, there was a lot of people that were sitting up here saying that Alabama was you hired a guy who's not meant for it. I mean, that's what people were saying. Do I agree? No.
Wait a minute, Keon, can I interject here?
Yeah.
That's funny you said that, because we have a tape pulled that might think otherwise. So our guy Bear Bryant's Burner says, hot take: Nick Saban was on the decline. We were heading into our 4th year without a natty. DeBoer is what we needed as a program. Saban was holding us back. Now, to be fair, I'll let that had to marinate for a while, if you will. But that take, I think he might want to take that back.
Yeah.
I would possibly think that might be the case.
Yeah, for sure. I just don't know how you clean these issues up in the midst of the season. Because, like I said, once the season starts, you are what you are.
Especially, now listen, you can sit there. I'm gonna use an analogy here to put it this way. You can prep for inspection, right? But what happens after it? Can you sustain it? Probably not. That's just gonna go back to the same way.
Right.
So with that being said, week 2, you might see some fix, right? You might see some fixes there, some changes. Is it going to hold up? Especially when you get into conference play, because keep in mind, week 5 lingers, and that's their opener for conference. So there's some things that they've got to do. Again, I want to go back to this point, Keon. There is no reason, none, to be 17 plays in on defense with hands on your hips and jogging through a play, giving up a touchdown in the process.
Rob, that's
17, Keon.
That's a strength and conditioning issue.
I don't. Again, I'm going back to that. That's not Alabama football. Listen, we're Georgia fans here, and I'm not even trying to give the Bama fans a hard time, because they're going to agree that ain't your standard that you used to seeing, is it?
No.
We had to see it for years and shit too.
Right. So
that right there, that's bad.
You know what's the thing that really kills me about, like, what we saw out of the Florida State game is I remember watching the game live and thinking, okay, how many different teams that are on Alabama's schedule can come out here with this exact same game plan and run it? And I just started listing them in my head, and I'm like, okay, well, you got Georgia, they got a mobile quarterback, they can do that. You got South Carolina, they got a mobile quarterback, they can do that. Mateer, he can make plays with his feet. He can be a mobile, right? So they can do that. You got Auburn, okay, they're mobile. With Jackson Arnold, yeah, he can for sure do this. And then, I mean, honestly, you might be able to say LSU, but they're not gonna run Nussmeier. But you you could end up handing that ball off to Caden Durham, throwing it to him and screen pass. Like a lot of the similar things you saw, all 5 of those teams could do that. Will be able to execute some of those plays.
Be careful. Somebody might screen record or clip this.
Man, that's a whole nother problem right there, boy.
But no, even then, though, man, listen.
What up, Tony? I see you. Shout out to Tony White.
The thing to me was you sit here and just got bullied physically as well. Like Justin Jefferson went for a damn ride. Like and then the tackling too has like bad angles and things like that. It's just, I know it's week 1 and people are going to overreact, right?
Yeah.
People can and will and are doing this, but when you watch the tape and you watch the bad angles,
it's actually that bad.
But again though, it's to me it's mind-boggling to try to wrap my head around because I'm not used to this. Like I'm not used to watching. I mean, what the hell was it? Salchuk's run to get him up 31, I think it was. He got hit at like the 4-yard line and then got pushed in. When was the last time we genuinely seen them get pushed back for yards? It's hard to fathom.
It is.
Yes. I'm not. Listen, the Twitter world is going to give them more problems for Bama fans than what we can imagine. But when you talk all off season with the expectations that you're going to do something, and then it drastically underperforms to your expectations, but you're hyping it up so much, you gotta be careful, right? Kind of what happened. And listen, I know we'll see them in week 5. I get it. And listen, I'll admit it, we've struggled like crazy, Keon. We have struggled to hell and back with them, regardless of how good or bad they are. We thought we had them dead to rights last season, and then we go to Tuscaloosa, Dr. Jekyll and Hyde it, and then lose the game at the last minute.
Yep.
So listen, I understand we got to see Bama again, and I expect Bama to play up to us. I
Absolutely.
think that game, I feel like they will get up to us and play us hard. But right now, after week 1, there's a lot of things. And starts with conditioning. I think conditioning can get fixed, right? But the problem is like the missed tackles and the bad angles. That tells me you weren't going hard in practice. You weren't going full speed. You weren't fundamentally practicing the tackling. You know what I'm saying? So questions, you're going to have to get into game shape and game speed and focus on your tackling at the same time. Like, if I'm a Bama fan, I'm looking at that. I'm very concerned because, again, you've got ULM in week 2. Understand? I think you handle business. I think you right some wrongs here from week 1.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you this: that Alabama team, the fan base isn't gonna know shit about what type of team they are until after they play us, and even then, I would still push back on that because we are known to get Alabama's best effort. So it's not even about us for real. It's not even about like Georgia for real. Because who knows? They could go out there and beat us, and then turn around and lose the following week to Vandy. And then it's like, oh wow. This is really real.
Keon, I want to bring this up here too. So Saturday, Lee Corso on his final. By the way, shout out to Lee Corso.
Shout outs to Lee Corso, man.
That was such a beautiful send-off too. It couldn't have worked any perfect. So Lee Corso, just to give context, Lee Corso picks Florida State, the lone guy there picking Florida State in his final send-off. Might have had perfect 6 for 6, by the way. But Nick Perkins goes, Lee Corso is the lone person to pick against Bama to avoid the sweep. I've never been more confident than I am right now. Bama by a literal billion. Nick, I'm sorry. The confidence was there. Listen, a lot of people were confident that it was going to get bad, myself included. Unfortunately, boss, it didn't work that way. So we got to be held accountable here. I didn't say you deleted anything, so I want to make sure that, listen, I ain't seen these things get deleted or anything. Some people might delete tweets. I didn't see that, so I'm just making sure people
all the
are
way
aware.
back. Some people claim they hold Twitter all the way back to like 2024.
Damn.
Yeah.
But neither here nor there. Listen, we all make bad takes, right? We all make bad takes.
For
but
sure.
Now it's come to a time where we hold each other accountable.
Absolutely.
And you saw it. I started it off. I wanted to make sure that people understood. I made a bad take about Florida State. I'm holding myself accountable. We are holding ourselves accountable. But that means we're holding everybody else accountable as well.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter. And it does not matter. Because the next one, don't think you got off the hook. Don't think you got off the hook, Longhorns. Don't think you did. Don't think you did. Oh, Keon, it was a good day Saturday, buddy.
Dude.
Listen, friend of the show here. Friend of the show goes to Texas football. My guy had been on the show before, but he had to tweet out, it's a bad day to be a Buckeye. At the end of the day, I think it may have been a bad day to be an Arch Manning.
It was definitely a bad day to be a Longhorn.
I'll tell you this. Arch Manning looked like a young quarterback that has limited experience.
Right.
Please understand that. I'm almost holding the media more accountable here than I am the team and Arch Manning himself. Like, he could have played better, but the nonstop media drive nationally overhyped this game and that performance to the point where it was doomed to fail, and it just so happened to fail. It was going to crescendo into either the epic moment of him showing and proving the hype or what happened Saturday. And listen, both teams, I thought that was a great game defensively for Texas and Ohio State. I love what Ohio State was doing defensively. Matt Patricia is showing some things, got that defense looking right early. Texas did a good job kind of flustering Julian Sand. But part of me looks at that game, though, Keon, and kind of Sark's coaching kind of.
Bro, look, Sark is a great coach in between the green zones, right? What I consider the green zones is the 30 from the 30, right? From 30 to 30, there go Trey. But from 30 to 30.
Damn it, Trey.
Yeah, it looks great, right? It looks great. But you hit that 25, and in this dude starts coaching like a 7-year-old on Madden, and it's so confusing. It's so confusing because it's the same mistake. It's the same mistake. People, Georgia fans, listen. There's too many people that shit on Bobo, right? Let me just say that. Red zone, that's his best shit. That's Bobo's best shit. Hey, look, I formation. Grab your granny and the kitchen sink. They gonna block for this running back, and then we gonna punch this shit in until we run out of downs.
Keon, wait a minute. I'm glad you brought that up. For context, 4th and 1 from the 1-yard line, and you don't convert. You could have had a chance to go up. Well, I think it was 7-7 at that point, maybe. I might be wrong. You had a chance to put points on the board, but you didn't. And so I look at this, and these analytics, man, these analytics are killing the game. Like, if you noticed, we're like, more so in the big games, man, like 4th and 2 for Georgia, right? Second drive. I get it. There's a little bit of feel to it, but it's nowhere close to 1 versus 3 in your 4th and 1 at the 1-yard line. I understand you trust your team, but when you don't get it, you look bad.
Why are you trying to QB sneaking? You got a big back on your defensive line.
Wisner was running the ball well.
See, here's the thing. and this is where I really love Bobo. Once we get in that red zone, we score. Whether it be hell or high water, okay, we get in there. Sark gets drunk with it inside the 25. That is a fact, bro. That is a fact. And at this point, that's just the coach he is. That's just what it is. I don't even look at this game and say, well, when is he going to learn his lesson? Because this is a lesson that keeps getting taught to you. Like, this is exactly – that's how we won the SEC championship game. That's how we did it. We got within the red zone. We got within – honestly, we got within the 10. And what did Bobo say? I formation. I formation until we hit destiny, boys, or we run out of downs. What does this last one say from Clyde? The Glide hair. Oh.
I don't see a lie there. However, I said it earlier.
I still think like when it comes to that game, I agree, but I still think when it comes to that game, we're gonna get Alabama's best shot, and they're not gonna.
I genuinely think the same thing.
Yeah.
Clyde also hold on, Keon. Clyde brought us back. Okay, I want you to understand for the record. Clyde brought us back with this comment right here. We are 5-5 since we beat Georgia last year. I want to add this, Keon. I'm gonna read this stat out to you. Kalen DeBoer has matched the unranked loss total in a matter of 14 games.
Okay.
That it took Nick Saban 235 at Alabama.
Wait, 235.
235 games. 235 games that Nick Saban played before he lost his fourth unranked opponent. In that span of 235, it took Kalen DeBoer at Alabama 14.
14 games?
Yes. There's a reason why there's crickets right now on the show. That sets a tone. And it's a harsh reality. It shows you just how good Nick Saban was. But it shows you in the same sentence just how hard it is to replicate what he did.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's wild, man. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. But I think I found something wilder, Keon. We talk about this segment, Barking Back, being the ultimate accountability factor here. But what I saw is absolutely diabolical. So the context of what you're about to see is stemming from the South Florida game, destroying Boise State, might I add. But Dr. SoFlo says, if USF wins tomorrow, I'll gargle dog urine. That's insane. So he posted that the day before they won. Why do we see these kind of things pop off? Because if we're being honest,
why in the state of Florida? What the hell is going on with these people?
I know it goes back to the FSU Pooh guy.
Right,
FS Pooh guy. It goes back to FS Pooh. I mean, seriously. But he misspelled dog. I have to admit he misspelled dog, but that's wild. Keon gargling dog piss for beating Boise State. Does he get held accountable though? I saw a bunch of national media folks trying to get him to hold himself accountable. I think he might delete his account. We'll see though. But these things are getting out of hand. Let's be serious. Let's be getting serious. Motivated, dedicated says Florida people are insane. Sir, I think we have to unanimously agree with you on that. I think we have to. Just saying. Sacred Grove, reading some comment here. It also shows that coaches are very important because we have a top 3 talented team. I need to ask Sacred Grove, are you Georgia fan. Let me know which fan. Sorry. Sacred Griff also says, come on, UCF then. Watch out. They might be next. Be careful. I'm just being honest. Keon, with the accountability, listen, we're not necessarily taking shots at the people that tweet this stuff out. We just want to make sure that people get held accountable, right? Gone fill the days where people get held accountable, especially on social media. And so we have to talk about it, man. We have to talk about it because, Keon, I know you stay on social media a lot too, to the point where you hear a lot of stuff, but also see stuff too. People don't get held accountable. And accountability is key. It's everything, as Clyde the Glide says. Agreed. This is why this segment right here was created. It's to hold people accountable. Heat checks, if you will, right? Listen, you might see next week a take that could have happened weeks ago, right? Things marinate, right? Especially when people talk long term. Just saying. But you still, at the end of the day, we all get held accountable, or should. And so us at the DGD podcast, we have to hold people accountable, which is why we did Barking Back. Keon, do you have any final thoughts before we end this segment?
None whatsoever.
None at all.
Gargling dog urine is insane.
Yeah, I don't think there's no coming back. There's no topping that diabolical comment. But that's been Barking Back. Keon, we've talked a long time. We've recapped Marshall preview. We gave you updates. We gave the announcement for the Bulldogs battling breast cancer. We've also broken in Barking Back. It's been a loaded week, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, let me confirm, it seems like the last game of the week is over. TCU, Keon, I don't know if you've seen the score. TCU takes Bill Belichick's debut and beats him by more than his little girl's girlfriend thing. Beats him by more than her age, 48-14.
28. Wait. 48-14?
Yes.
34.
Yeah, that's 34 points. By the way, DGD
my math
College
is just bad right there, but
yeah. So keep in mind, folks, we are updated because of this game. Might I add, we did not do our game day picks results because this game was going on while we were filming this. With that being said, Wednesday we will provide the update along with week 2 picks. So make sure to go to social media, go to our Twitter account, and vote for week 2 picks. They are up. The voting ends Tuesday at around noon, I think it is, maybe. Make sure to go vote because if I'm not mistaken, the brigade might have some catching up to do, but we'll see. We'll sneak peek that, but Wednesday you'll see. Keon, I don't have anything left
me either
to say or talk about. I think we did a good job covering everything. We read some good comments. Thanks to all the brigade folks in here dropping off these comments while we did our show. Again, we do this live, and it's also on audio for you on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Obviously on YouTube, so if you want to watch it, you can do the same. But with that being said, I think that's all we've got for you on this episode of the DGD Podcast. Again, I'm Robert. That's Keon. We will catch you Wednesday night, same time, 10 o'clock, for the Austin Peay preview. So make sure to set the alarms there. Ring the bell, if you will. Come back 10 o'clock, live and ready to go, because Georgia's about to play a second football game. We got a lot to talk about. Keon, I'll catch you on the next time. As with everybody else, have a great night, good evening, good morning, whenever you're listening. Go Dawgs.
Go Dawgs.